Pat Robertson, because he's fucking dead. Okay? He's super dead at the age of 93.
Lord God, fill me now with your spirit.
Pat Robertson was a seminal figure of the religious right.
Wait, did I run the top of the hour ad break? Or did I say I was going to run it and forget to run it? I did not run the ad break, but did I tell you I was going to run it? Did I debate you? Fuck. No, I didn't run it yet. Fuck, I'm running it now. God damn it.
He founded the Christian Broadcasting Network, the political advocacy group, the Christian Coalition, and the Christian College Regent University. But he was also known for his outspoken views on homosexuality, feminism, and a host of other hot-button issues.
There isn't one single civilization that has survived that had openly embraced homosexuality.
In 2001, he agreed with fellow televangelist Jerry Falwell that God allowed the 9/11 terrorists to succeed.
Yeah, that's right, folks. Pat Robertson was the OG 9/11 Andy. Dinesh D'Souza also was another 9/11 Andy, and so was Bill Maher. So, you know, I'm just following in the footsteps of some of the OGs, you know?
Because America had moved to the left and removed religion from the mainstream.
I totally concur.
The Yale Law School graduate and Korean War vet had a religious awakening in the late 1950s. He bought a bankrupt local station in Portsmouth, Virginia, and it became the first outlet for the Christian Broadcast Network. It was the first Christian TV network in the U.S. and became one of the world's largest TV ministries. Its flagship program was The Daily Show he hosted, The 700 Club, named for the 700 donors who launched it in 1961.
I plan to make a formal announcement of my candidacy for the Republican nomination for the presidency of the United States.
Robertson, whose father was a congressman and U.S. senator, ran as a Republican presidential candidate in 1988. He came in second in the Iowa caucus, but his campaign didn't fare as well in other primary states. He dropped out of the race and returned to hosting
poor guy.
the 700 Club, where he famously made bold predictions that didn't always come true.
Romney will win the election.
You believe that?
I absolutely.
So you know what's funny about this? When the news media memorializes you after your death, and they like literally talk about your 9/11 takes and your, you know, homophobia, that's how you fucking know this guy was a real demon, okay? Because normally, like, they look at like George W. Bush and they're like, they completely avoid the war crimes, and they're like, he's a giver and a lover. George H.W. Bush, sorry. He's a giver and a lover. He certainly did not play a significant role in the assassination of JFK when he was when he was a part of the CIA. You know, they always do that kind of stuff, right? Where you know a motherfucker is a straight demon when even when mainstream media is not even memorializing him with like, you know, good things that he did, and is still straight up openly referencing all of the awful shit that he said.
What makes you believe that?
Because the Lord told me.
Pat Robertson, a key founder of the conservative Christian movement.
Oh, one of my absolute fucking locks is that in the next decade, oh shit, ow. In the next decade, the CIA is going to openly declassify that they assassinated JFK. I think, or even if they don't do it, I believe, okay, maybe I'm crazy, but I believe that it will be genuinely mainstream, like everybody knows it, everybody kind of understands it, everybody kind of fucking regularly assumes that that is the case. Okay? I feel as though, why would they do that? Because they do it all the fucking time. Why wouldn't they? No, not in 100 years, okay? Why? Here's why, okay? Because right now, I see so much more. Maybe it's like fucking recency bias, or maybe I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe it's because like it's selection bias, sampling bias. I don't know. But I see so much more discussion in like works of art that is very much mainstream that basically looks like the Oliver Stone's JFK, like very openly discussing the CIA's involvement. Even in the Plumbers, they like straight up said it. Okay, they straight up fucking said it in Plumbers. Like, it used to be kind of like a crank theory, I think. You know what I mean? It used to be more of like a crank theory, and now I feel like it's being. The CIA would be disbanded immediately. No, the fuck it wouldn't. I mean, I don't think the CIA will declassify it, but I think it's just going to become more mainstream. Yeah, dude, the CIA definitely would. A history professor explained this as a theory to us 20 years ago, and he sounded crazy. Also, yeah, Secretary of Antifa's right. The CIA admitted to doing mind control experiments, dude. Like, they openly, that's normal. Like, you live in a world where people, like, you live in a world with that knowledge exists on the periphery. Like, everybody knows that the CIA very deliberately tried to engage in failed mind control experimentation. Okay? Like, that's not a speculation. That's not a fucking theory. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just like straight up what they said they did. Same with Afghanistan. Like a lot of stuff they openly fucking tell you, you know, when enough time has passed. Just saying. I don't know why I got the fucking JFK assassination here, but
who never shied away from expressing his views, no matter how controversial they might be.
oh yeah, that's a funny fucking
Celebrate Pat Robertson's.
That's funny. That's a funny way to end that. Just controversial guy.
Retirement after 60 years in broadcasting with, now that's what I call yikes. You'll get classics like homophobia.
You've got a couple of same-sex guys kissing. Well, that makes me want to throw up. And their weird way of doing sex.
Racism.
Like in the 30s, the blacks were self-sustaining. They were in business. And what happened? What is this mac and cheese? Is that a black thing?
Misogyny.
I don't think we condone wife beating these days, but something's got to be done.
Islamophobia.
Yo! A top G. My man said, I don't condone wife beating, but something's got to be done. That's an insane fucking thing to say. This guy, man, holy fuck. He was, what a legend.
The Quran, it's appropriate and permissible to have sex with little babies.
Transphobia.
Transgenders. This is nonsense. It's just a fraud. We don't want men going into women's bathrooms.
Order now and you'll also receive...
Wait, didn't Pat Robertson also have like a weird take about trans people that was like drop this transphobia stuff? Didn't he literally fucking also in later years, he was like, yeah, I don't fucking, this trans stuff, like, don't fight about it. It's fine. I'm not even kidding. Yeah. I think he, like, made a miscalculation. No, it was either a miscalculation because he thought that, like, people don't give a shit about it, or it was dementia. Someone said chaser confirmed. No, dude, hold on. Yep. Wait. Here.
Who says, I work with two people who have decided that they are females. I know what the Bible says about homosexuality, but is it wrong to refer to them as females since they've had their gender status changed in the eyes of the law?
Okay. By the way, his pro-trans take in this situation is literally, when paired up with his homophobia take, he's literally just an Iranian Ayatollah, okay? That's what he is, which is weird. His take is straight up identical to Iran.
Why would you have to refer to them as females?
I don't understand all that, but I think there are men who are in a woman's body. It's very rare, but it's true, or women that are in men's bodies, and they want a sex change, and that is a very permanent thing. Believe me, when you have certain body parts.
Fucking told you, dude. I told you. This man is a legend, dude. He's a fucking... He's the first of his kind. He's anti-L, anti-G, anti-B, and he's pro-T, okay? He flipped the script and said, and this is actually not that uncommon. Like, this is actually low-key very common. I would say there are more people like this on the planet than vice versa. There's a lot of people like that in, like, you know, Iran. There's a lot of people like that, I think, in, like, India and shit, too, obviously, where there's, like, other third gender classifications. So, like, technically there might be more people who are, like, pro-trans and anti-gay. But in the Western world, very unique, okay? Very, very unique. And for that, I appreciate Pat Robertson. Intentionally spreading AIDS in San Francisco with rings that cut people during a handshake while simultaneously being fucking pro-trans. It's so funny, dude.
Amputated, and you have shot up with various kinds of parts amputated, and you have shot up with various kinds of hormones. It's a radical procedure. I don't think there's any sin associated with that. I don't condemn somebody for doing that, but somebody who just says, well, I'm really a woman, I question the validity of that statement. But they say they're counted as female. You don't count somebody as female unless they really are, or male unless they really are.
In this instance, so this is a person who works with two people, so he doesn't really know their intentions or know their personal medical scenario.
It's not for you to decide or to judge. All right.
Okay, this is...
He said, fuck the LG and the B, but not the T, dude. Yeah. You guys know gays against groomers. How about trans against groomers? A reverse turf. Oh man, God, yeah, you gotta love American politics, dude. How can you not? How can you fucking not, dude? I mean, it's just like so, like, this person was like an important figure in American politics for so many years, and that's like the type of opinion he has. You know what I mean? I love this. He's still a trans medicalist. Dude, canceling Pat Robertson for being trans medicalist. Oh, dude, he's like to the left of the average American citizen on trans issues. Yeah, I think that's his most problematic take, honestly. Sir, Mr. Pat Robertson, you're doing NB erasure right now, okay? Telling Pat Robertson, you don't have to... Dude, she is fucking clocking through this puzzle now. This puzzle ain't shit for her now. Telling Pat Robertson, you don't need to pass to be a trans woman. It's kind of fucked up. That someone doesn't need to literally... Someone doesn't need to immediately medically transition to be considered trans, sir. You're trust scum. So Pat Robertson died this morning, and I just wanted to take the time to say that this piece of inhuman shit was evil. I hope hell is real because that's where he fucking belongs. I spit on his grave. Here's the thread. He was a super villain among Christian conservatives. If you think the ones you know about are unhinged, this motherfucker was on another level. He vilified Hinduism, which I think is fucking, like, that's awesome. Okay? Not obviously vilifying Hinduism, but, like, out of all the things that conservative people get mad at, like conservative Christians get mad at, finding the time to shit on Hinduism is such a funny and weird line. It's just like, why did you, what are you doing? What, like, where did this come from? When did you encounter an Indian person that you, like, decided, actually, this is fucked up? He said radical Muslims are satanic. That's television evangelist Pat Robertson on the 700 Club. He said Islam is not a religion of peace and that radical Muslims are satanic. He talked with Jerry Falwell shortly after 9/11 and blamed the terrorist attacks on the pagans, the abortionists, and the feminists, and the gays, and the lesbians. Notice how he didn't say the trans people. Notice how trans people were noticeably absent from why America deserved 9/11. Just pointing that out there. Interesting. He implied that Hurricane Katrina, which killed over 1,800 people, was God's punishment for abortion. Oh, I forgot about this one. This one's a certified banger.
The wholesale slaughter of unborn children. We have killed over 40 million unborn babies in America. I was reading yesterday a book that was very interesting about what God has to say in the Old Testament about those who shed innocent blood. And he used the term that those...
Okay, now that I think about it, the idea that, like, when paired up with the notion that, like, America deserves 9/11, he literally is he is the Ayatollah. Like, he's pro-trans, anti-lesbian, anti-gay, anti-women, anti-all that shit, anti-America, claims America deserved 9/11 because of the gays and all that stuff. And he quite literally, I mean, this is it. He is Ayatollah Robertson. It's kind of fucking crazy. Identical political perspective, down to the trans thing. If you could find him unironically advocating, tread lightly. Why? What's he gonna do? Haunt me? Suck my cock. If you could find him, like, advocating for like forcible gender transition surgery for homosexuals, like, that's it. That's like he is the Iranian cleric, okay? Just saying.
Those who do this, the land will vomit you out. You look at your book, you look at the book of Leviticus and see what it says there. And this author of this said, well, vomit out means you're not able to defend yourself. But have we found that we are unable somehow to defend ourselves against some of the attacks that are coming against us, either by terrorists or now by natural disaster? Could they be connected in some way? And he goes down the list of the things that God says will cause a nation to lose its possession and to be vomited out. And the amazing thing is, a judge has now got to say,
You are talking like TERFs, lol? What do you mean?
I will support the wholesale slaughter of innocent children in order to get confirmed to the bench. And I'm sure Judge Roberts is not going to say any such thing, but nevertheless, that's the litmus test that's being put on, the very thing that could endanger our nation. And it's very interesting. Read the Bible, read Leviticus, see what it says.
This one's wild, and the first time I heard about him, in 2010, after the Haiti earthquake that killed over 100,000 people, some have put it as high as 300K, he said that Haiti's founders brought the earthquake on themselves because they declared independence from France. What the fuck? Pat Robertson, Iran, share in the outrages. Wait, Christian television evangelist Pat Robertson and the president of Iran, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, have a well-established affinity for the outrageous. This time, their mutual embrace of indecency places them in the category all to themselves. As Israeli leader Ariel Sharon lies hospitalized and critically incapacitated by a massive stroke, Robertson, one of America's best-known religious extremists, and his Iranian counterpart, no slouch when it comes to religious demagoguery, suggested that the Israeli prime minister had it coming. Oh, okay, I'm cooking. No, this is like, I'm calling it. No, this is Ayatollah Robertson, dude. What the fuck? Mashallah, Ayatollah Robertson. He went to Jannah, I think. He didn't even say the Shahada when, he didn't recite the Shahada right as he was like saying his last breath. He literally said it like somewhere in between his career. Like he said it at some point. What the fuck? Speaking on his show, The 700 Club, the Christian Broadcasting Network, Robertson said, the Bible makes it very clear that God has an enmity against those who divide my land. Robertson asserted Sharon was dividing God's land, and I would say, woe unto any prime minister of Israel who takes a similar course. As Robertson was offering up his thoughts about a man fighting for his life, Iran's president was expressing unrestrained hope that Sharon would die. What? Wait, I don't get it. Was he like pro-Palestine? What is happening? I am so confused. That NDI retention, disclosure, false statements, obstruction, federal records shenanigans. What? Okay, we'll look at that in a second. We're done with that for now. We're looking at fucking Ayatollah Robertson and what he had to say. Okay? After the Wisconsin 6 shooting that killed 7 people, he blamed it on atheists and people who hate God. The shooter was a white supremacist with ties to neo-Nazis. He said that the 2017 Las Vegas shooting was caused by NFL players taking a knee before games and disrespecting President Donald Trump. That's crazy. Claimed that the critical race theory gave people of color the whip handle over white people. Like dude, Pat Robertson died when he saw the fucking meme of MLK overlooking the cotton fields as like black people are whipping white people. You know that meme I'm talking about? He saw that and perished. That was the last thing he saw. It was burned into his fucking retinas. Like, this is CRT! And then died. America KKK's poet laureate. Yeah, he is so good. When a man called into a shitty show asking what he should do about his wife who was not respecting him, Pat Robertson told him his wife was a rebellious child who wouldn't submit to any authority.
Has become a real problem. She has no respect for me as the head of the house. She insults me. She even went as far as stretching her hand to beat me. I've lost my self-confidence. Her words hurt so much, and she refuses to talk through our problems. Please tell me what I can do.
Well, you could become a Muslim, then you could beat her.
But in
Dude, that's so sick. Because, like, he literally believes that. He literally believes that you should be able to beat your wife. He said it. Okay? He fucking said it before. So, in his mind, in that very moment, he's both simultaneously saying it's bad when they do it in Islam, while also, which is a misunderstanding in general, but like, but also on top of that, he like literally believes you should be able to beat your wife.
lieu of that,
You don't want to go to Saudi
No,
Arabia?
no.
You know, I think this man's got to stand up to her, and he can't let her get away with this stuff. And, you know, I don't know. I don't think we condone wife beating these days, but something's got to be done. What do you do with that? You can't divorce her, according to the scripture. And so I say, move to Saudi Arabia.
My wife has
Yeah. Something's got to be done. This isn't even close to everything this Christian has said and done in his life. Every moment of his adult life was spent spewing hatred to millions of Americans and contributing to the bigotry we see today. I'm getting mad just typing it. He, and more importantly, his words have strengthened the hateful rhetoric in this country. I'm glad he's dead. Yeah, I mean, he is literally the worst. He's literally the fucking worst. He's one of the worst. He's the fucking Mac Daddy, dude.
Blaming Haitians for their devastating earthquake.
They got together and swore a pact to the devil.
And the unforgettable Let Drug Addicts Die.
Let them starve to death.
Order now.
So he's so insane. On January 14, 1901, on the 700 Club, Pat Robertson attacked a number of Protestant denominations when he declared, "You say you're supposed to be nice to the Episcopalians and the Presbyterians and the Methodists and this, that, and the other thing. Nonsense. I don't have to be nice to the spirit of the Antichrist."
Some questions. We've been running out of time on the show, but what do you
Let's
got?
bring it on with Peyton
Let's go
first
for
of
it.
all today. Peyton says, recently I was looking through my daughter's phone and I found many pictures of a cartoon skeleton with one glowing blue eye and wearing a hoodie. When I asked my daughter why she had such demonic
Oh my God, Pat Robertson encounters Undertale.
images on her phone, she told me there was nothing wrong with it because it was from a video game. How do I help my daughter not be attracted to such demonic things?
We'll give her something better. I think it's a fad. You know, these funny-looking things, I think I wouldn't make a big deal of it. I think if you do, you magnify the...
You drive her to it.
Yeah, you drive her to it. And if you got something more wholesome that she can enjoy, provide it for her. You must have something. There's got to be some video game that isn't so evil, but those things are filled with violence, I mean, you know, and brutality.
It's so funny that this guy is worried about depictions of violence and brutality in a game like Undertale, which is hilarious because like the entire point is to not do that. Okay? But also, like, you are who you are, man. What do you mean? Like, you're Pat Robertson. Everything you have said is violent as fuck.
It's unreal, and that's what the kids are playing. You say, oh, well, he's just playing a video game. Yeah, sure, boom, boom, boom.
Well, sometimes it's all about being...
So why is he being remembered in a positive medium like in cable news? No, he's not. I mean, that's how unhinged he is. Also, we're not done yet. I mean, speaking of violence, in 1985, the 700 Club's Pat Robertson went to Honduras to give an anti-communist, anti-Sandinista pep talk to a group of Contra death squad troops on behalf of the CIA.
In the name of Christian righteousness, they supported apartheid in South Africa and the Contras in Central America.
You know, just some apartheid South Africa support as well.
This is one of the most moving experiences in my life to be here today.
Esto ha sido una de las experiencias más conmovidas en mi vida.
To see your faith,
Para ver su fe,
your desire for freedom and liberty,
el deseo que tienen para la libertad,
your courage,
su coraje
and your discipline.
y su disciplina.
We want to help those who are the victims of communism.
Queremos ayudar a las víctimas del comunismo.
You know, by fucking killing them and destroying them. Great stuff. Was it the Contras that wait, hold on. No, that was Did the Contras kill nuns too? Like I'm mistaking American backed coups right now. I know the one I'm thinking of is obviously like I'm thinking of El Salvador, but there's also, I think a lot of them did, right? You're thinking of Guatemala. I love that America has fucked every country in Latin America that, like, is it the El Mozote massacre? Is it El Salvador? Is it Honduras? Is it fucking Nicaragua? Is it like, is it Guatemala? Like, you're literally in the chat. You're like, well, you know, they did kill a bunch of nuns in this one. Which they kind of did. Well, maybe not in maybe not the Christian Brigade that he's speaking to here, but in El Salvador, they killed the martyrs of the university. Martin Barro, social psychologist, was killed in a false flag attack. It was American nuns that were slain in Nicaragua. 2 Roman Catholic nuns were killed and a bishop and another nun were wounded in an armed attack in Nicaragua. The Nicaraguan government and church officials said yesterday 2 of the victims were Americans. The Sandinista government blamed the attack, which took place after dark Monday in a remote area near Nicaragua's Atlantic coast, on U.S.-supported rebels known as Contras, but there was no independent confirmation. A Contra spokesman in Washington denied it. No, I know. The El Mozote was in El Salvador, which was really fucked up. That one is especially fucked up. That's not where they literally fucking they went to villages and they took the fucking mothers and the babies out and like laid them side by side, and they would they cut the fucking babies' heads off and like put them on and played, like they would spike them. They would literally cut a baby's head off or just like straight up take a fucking baby, chuck the baby in the air and then spike the baby when it was in the fucking air. Another case of American military trained militia groups, by the way. We have veterans license plates here that show which conflict they fought in. I saw a dude at the gas station that had a Guyana one. They're like 35 hours doing war crimes and showing it off. Yeah.